what content would you say a new Forza Horizon 5 should include? Because, in my opinion, 4 was good to an extent of it got very grindy very quickly and then nothing. I very quickly ran out of tracks to do, very quickly ran out of challenges to do, and then I was just kind of driving along by myself looking for things to do. Yeah, so I'm not sure what content would need to, but I think it would need to improve on 4.
I probably agree with the same thing. I mean, as I was saying, with 4, it did add content on with like extra cars and like weekly challenges and all that, which was great to sort of like pop in and out of every so often, which is great. But the main game, it was just a bit structureless. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah,
said, you could do whatever you want, and you're like, too much choice. What do I do?
You know what it could do with inspiration from Forza 2, which arguably I thought had the best. I think it's a career story, just because it. Do you remember the road trips where you would
Yeah,
drive to a certain part of like Italy, and then all the cars would drive to somewhere else, and you do like a championship, drive somewhere else, do a championship. Yeah, it got because you had to, to get 100%. You did every single championship, and then it was like 150. I'm sure someone will correct me. Um,
yeah.
that was grind delicious, but something like that had so much more structure over it. Um,
It,
and you just feel like something like that could be a lot better.
I think probably it needs to be sort of a hybrid of 4, but also of 2. So like
Hmm.
4, I like sort of the side stories. So like the taxi driving, the Top Gear challenges,
Yeah.
the like sort of man in the van or insurance. Like they were great little break icebreakers from the main story. But as I said, I think there probably needs to have a balance of both. Like
Yeah.
have the road trip bit, but also the silly stuff like going around in a V8 tractor, for
Yeah.
example.
It's like I did like the stories. I like some of the stories more than most. Because I feel like some of the stories could have used a bit more, I don't know, thought behind them in a way. Because the one that sticks out in my mind is the video game one, where they're saying about
Yeah,
this game is, this race is like, what was it? Virtual Racer, I think it was.
yeah,
And they were like, oh, you go from here to here, and you just kind of, maybe I expected too much, but I was quite disappointed by it because it was just nothing different. It was just a point-to-point race. Maybe that's, I don't know. Maybe I just expected a bit too much from it, or not enough.
mm,
Who knows? But I agree. Maybe some kind of, I think it needs some kind of structure rather than do the race for reason.
yeah. I think that's probably the main risk of the what I would like to see.
Mm.
I mean, there's always little stuff like more cars, like greater variances of cars.
Yeah, there is like there's because if you look back, number one you had to be like the top driver out of I think it was like out of 100. Great
Yeah.
story, but there was nothing to go from for after that. Number two had the driving to places. Number three, you were the festival leader, which I thought was a
Mm.
bit weird because it started adding like base building, which was really weird. Like it just didn't really make
Yeah, that was a
any
bit of
real
a
sense.
weird structure.
Yeah.
Like,
I like it being like just feeling like a festival, but I also like it to have
mm,
a sense, like have a point, rather than this is just a festival because it's a festival, just enjoy
yeah.
it.
As I was saying, that we can probably touch on on that a bit later with the locales because there's kind of there's quite a good option of untapped potential in certain places.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, which I'm sure we'll get onto. But
Oh yeah, we will.
so about what it should offer, obviously the cars, obviously. Um, I think, which is one thing that's massively missing from 4 and maybe all the others, correct me if I'm wrong, user-made maps, as in like a ready-made playlist.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't like saying because like some of the user-made maps out there in the community, they're actually really bloody good.
Yeah, it's like I figured them. Well, as I figured them, I sort of found them not long ago, just hidden away on the blueprints thing, and you can only really do them as like co-op. You can't really do them as, like a part of the main online lobbies, which sucks because those main lobby tracks got old quickly.
Oh yeah, they did.
Like they got annoying, and just you do the same thing over and over. Why not add them in? It wouldn't be difficult, like really. I mean, you could even segregate them off into user-made playlists. User-made playlist, top rated, top 30 rated buff. There you go.
Yeah, go mad, enjoy yourself. You'll be there a while.
Yeah, because there's some of the ones we've picked up. What else? What else do you think should include? Hit me with something wild.
I think the sort of the customization could go a bit deeper. Like actually build your own car in a sense.
That'd be pretty cool. I wouldn't say no to that, but I think that's where licenses starts getting a bit messy.
I mean, go a bit deeper. Just I don't know, like a Lamborghini Aventador, because that's something we probably like that, and turn it into a monster truck. Laugh.
It's right. I mean, what you're saying is right, because it gives you the whole festival thing of, play it your way. So why not cut the roof off a, Vauxhall Vectra? Why not?
Yeah.
It would make sense to, because then you could literally do what you want. Like, other than that, maybe custom races, as in like making set pieces. The racing against the train, as an example. Having something like that, but just being able to create your own from scratch. If it wants to be a racing sandbox, let it be. Let it have a point.
As I was saying, like certain things will be limited due to like seconds, like the train, for example. But like, I think what's not to say, okay, who would win in a fight between a hovercraft, a team of dirt bikers, and a Vulcan bomber, just from the top of my head, last, and you in an Aston Martin, and see who wins out of that.
Yeah.
Why not?
I just think, because in my head I've got pictured of the very top of the course, there's where the train starts from. You could literally figure out to start the train at the same time and then just make your own showcases. I just think with number 4, there's not enough creation. It's like it's kind of stuck with itself. It's like you can do it how you want, but we're going to be very limited with that. Everyone knows that, communities that are mental about game, like the certain game, will play it to death, and they will come up with, little mini games to play with each other or little things to do. Look at GTA, for example. Like, they've still got people like developing tracks and stuff. Let people do it. They're doing their own marketing
and their own work. They're saying like, oh, we don't have to make tracks because some exuberant community member has made a 50-mile track that covers every road in Horizon.
If you're a glutton for punishment, yeah.
Yeah, if you're glutton for... Yeah. Most people are.
Yeah, if you absolutely hate yourself and your time. So I guess that kind of brings us neatly on to the next point of what story should it follow then? Say if me and you have got the blank canvas of Forza Horizon 5, they've given Box and Matt, the golden ticket to start writing. What would you say would be the story that should follow Horizon 5, if there's a story to begin with? Okay.
Well, personally, being sort of the head of the festival, it's not really good because literally it's like you've reached the top and then there's nowhere else to ready to go. 1 and 2 sort of had the better story in a sense. You start from the bottom and you work your way up to the top. So that's probably how I would structure it. Character-wise, it's like, because to be honest, like in Horizon 4, I really couldn't care less about the characters.
No, I agree. I completely agree with you. Like, it was... I didn't care for anything. Like, when you were doing, like van missions, and it was saying about Danny, and you're just like, I don't know who that is, I don't care who that is, give me more money. Yeah, like an actual white van man. When you think about it, I role-played it very well.
You did, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a bit of a tricky one to sort of thingy.
I mean, it is,
Um,
but it's like, say if you've got complete free reign over what you want to do. Like, I agree with you. Bin the whole festival leader thing. Bin the, this is your festival. Nah. So just say you're a regular old Joe who's decided to just go to the festival because why not?
yeah,
And you're a part of the experience rather than being the experience.
yeah,
Like you,
yeah.
there doesn't have to. Obviously, there doesn't have to be a set story. I mean, it's Forza, Just give me interesting races. There doesn't have to be elaborate cutscenes of slow-mo cars going through fields. Like,
Yeah, it doesn't have to be the crew.
oh god, no. I have flashbacks to the crew too.
It's the crew too. I said the crew, not the crew too. Don't worry, you can calm it down.
Oh
Calm,
god, that's hideous.
calm.
That's another video for another time. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, it doesn't need to be this elaborate, story or whatever. It just have the most important. First off, figure if you want to be a creation tool, pretty much, or an experience. I would say experience, my personal opinion, but whatevs. Um, and I would say put it back to what is essentially Forza 2 again.
yeah. That, but with the improvements that were made in 3 and 4.
Yeah, take what you've learnt, go back to a formula that works. So I do love 4, but I just think 2 is just structurally better. It just gives you something else to sit through and grind through. It's like
Yeah,
put it this way: what would you be happier to put a podcast on and sort of play through, 2 or 4?
4. I don't 4. It's just,
So I was going to say 2, just because of the amount of championships you can still do. With 4, you do the tracks that they give you, and then it goes, well, that's that.
2 had structures. Basically, okay, I've got a championship, right? Work through it, and then, as I say, you can always up the difficulty to give it a bit of a challenge.
Hmm.
It's the same, makes it less of a grind. Whereas, if you're going through 4, saying finding all the roads, finding all the smash balls, finding all the barn finds,
Yeah.
that's just more of a checklist rather than here's a 4 race championship, right? Let's win this thing,
Yeah.
and then
It's very much a checklist. It's not an adventure. It's a checklist. Whereas Forza does try and push the whole. It's an adventure. It's a festival. Enjoy yourself. But it's like, how can I enjoy myself when I've got a pen and paper? Like, and I'm trying to find every road.
Yeah, and I'm in accounting.
Mm.
Yeah, numbers. Yep.
I remember. It was either Forza 3 or Forza 4. Trying to get that achievement to drive down every road, and what I did was on the last road, I didn't drive down it fully. I'd left a section of it, and I couldn't find it. So I was scanning the map, zoomed in, trying to find this little fraction of road that I'd missed, and it was hideous. And I just get rid of that. Get rid of that aspect. It's horrible. Just get rid of that achievement if you need to. I don't care.
Yeah, I think So it's caused trauma. Let's just say that for the record.
I've suffered enough. So that's the story covered. $1 million question. Where would you base it?
Well, it's probably the only 2 places if they come up in mind that are Japan or sort of South America. Well, as I say, Japan is, as I say, it's a different kind of scenery altogether, and I think it'll be the first time it's gone to Asia because it's done Europe twice, America, and Australia, but it hasn't touched on Asia.
Yeah.
And Japan's quite a hotbed of car culture.
Yeah.
So the drifting, the JDM cars, the K cars, which I think would be quite entertaining to try and put 1,000,000 horsepower into a shoe.
Yeah.
With wheels.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. Basically, it is the perfect place for someone like Ben Skinner to make an out of control shitbox.
Hi Ben. Yeah, it's
hello.
It's definitely the that would be a Ben playground of putting a 1,000 horsepower into a Volvo. Like, yeah, you're right. He loves a sleeper car.
Yeah, he does.
I agree. Japan. Japan is the most obvious answer. It hasn't been set there. It's, you're right. With the car culture, and also think of the roads as well. Twisty
Yeah,
roads. I don't quite see the South Africa or South America.
South.
Sorry, South America link to an extent.
So yeah, South America is probably harder. I compared to Japan, it's harder to justify.
Hmm.
Um, as I was saying, going back to Japan, like also you do get a greater variance of environments. So like you got inner city stuff, mountain roads, forests, snowy mountains. So you got a bit of everything there. South America is a bit tricky. I mean, it will definitely
Hmm.
nail that festival vibe. I mean, literally, hello, like like if you Brazil, Copacabana, it will nail that vibe. Admittedly, I don't know much about sort of the culture down there
Hmm.
with cars, so that'll be harder to find the link.
I think that's kind of
Um,
where I kind of there's a bit of disconnect from where your idea is. I do agree with the Brazil Carnival idea. That'd be brilliant. But yeah, the cars. Don't know. Japan just sets up just that little bit better, doesn't it?
hmm.
It's the
But
one that
then,
logistically and logically makes the most sense.
hmm. But then I've actually just thought of another one, which I think actually could be sort of the meeting in the middle, Cuba.
Ooh, that would be pretty. What is Havana? Is that in Cuba? Pretty sure.
Yeah, Havana. Sort of
Yeah.
Cuba, because as I say, like festival atmosphere, tick.
Mm.
Like variants of stuff, tick. Car culture, like these are the kind of people who keep old cars going forever with asbestos and hope,
Hope and dream. Yeah.
hope and dreams. And as I was saying, like it's another good place if you want to move Horizon there.
It is.
Um, you could do it. As I was saying, is return it to America.
Yeah. I mean, frankly, that's, let's be honest, probably the easiest option.
Mm.
Just because of how far and wide America is. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I wouldn't say the whole of America. Try to scale it down.
No, no, no,
Um,
no.
Focus on a part. I don't know what part. I've never been to America.
I would go something like sort of like Detroit or New Orleans.
Yeah, so I would say kind of like an open, because that's quite city based. So maybe a mix of what 3 did. So have like a city and then like an outback part. So
Mm,
springs to mind
I mean,
Texas for me, but I don't know.
well, New Orleans could do it because then you could have the inner city stuff, but also you got the bayou.
Yeah,
Well, the redneck.
yeah, no, that is true. See, it's like I would say hit Japan at the top. That's I think we're settled on that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. See, it's like with 4. I called, and I will laud this until the day I die, that I called that it was going to be in the UK months before it was announced.
Yep. Yep. And I
But
got the worst of it.
yes, you did. Obviously, I remember saying that I didn't expect it to be a full-on working map of the UK, because that's just not possible. There was no way they were going to remodel London. There was no way.
No.
But I was a little bit disappointed to what it did boil down to, just because of, I don't know. You say it's set in the UK, but it's small Scotland, and I just feel like it was a bit of a missed opportunity, you know?
Mm, I don't know. I beg to. Well, I say beg to differ on that because, well, Scotland is like if you've ever been there, like certain roads like the North Coast 500, like literally like the scenery, it's like out of a fucking film, really.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've seen the side-by-side
It's
picture and game comparisons, and I know it is pretty much bang on. Um,
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. There's just something that I just felt a little bit of disappointment towards, and I'm not quite sure what it was. I just feel like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm still holding out for a new Getaway game. But yeah, I don't know. I would say stick as the setting. Stick at Japan. It makes the most sense. And then you can
Oh
just
yeah.
cut me and Matt are what 5% each. Like check.
Yeah. 5%. Yeah, 5%. I'm happy with. Yeah.
It's only fair, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we'll move. We'll move on. DLC. Now, Forza's had some mental DLC. First off, before we kind of dig into it, what was the best DLC? Would you say, out of all of them? If you're gonna make me list them, one, I don't think I had any. Two, Storm Island.
Storm. It was interesting, but it was a bit too off-roady for my taste.
Yeah, it was just
The
more
Porsche
of the same.
Porsche one doesn't really count as sort of. That was more just adding more cars. So.
Yeah, I remember that just being car pack because when I heard Porsche DLC, I thought Porsche Land. Like I was expecting a Porsche amusement park. And I was disappointed.
We're going to Stuttgart, lads. Let's go.
Porsche Land. No, I was. Yeah, so less said about that. Yeah, Storm Island, meh. It was just meh. 3 Hot Wheels, easily best. Chef's kiss.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It was very, very, very good.
Yeah, it was so. I think that's one of the very few instances in a game where I completed everything and I was like, I want more to do.
Yeah.
Like, give me more to do. Yeah, no, it was brilliant. And then I can't remember the other DLC for 3.
Blizzard Mountain.
That was
sort of good.
Yeah, that was okay, but in comparison to
that
Hot
was
Wheels. And then 4 had Fortune Island.
Fortune Island, not Storm Mountain.
So they're all mixing in between. Fortune Island and Lego. I like Lego. Right, hear me out. I like Lego, but the novelty of it worn off pretty quickly. It was oh cool Lego, yeah, great, and then drive around for a bit. It's like it's not that amusing really.
It's a bit too. Yeah, I would agree. Sort of the novelty, oh, I'm driving around Legoland, and then okay, this is getting a bit tedious. It did have some elements I actually quite liked.
Well, me and you both called that when we were talking about where Forza 4 should be. Because we said if it's the UK, you could have real-world tracks imported from Forza Motorsport.
Yeah.
Forza always does the DLC of one wacky, one sensible, and every time the wacky ones are better. Like, Fortune...
oh, yeah.
If you compare Lego and Fortune Island was bloody boring. I remember not being too interested.
It was a bit it's just more like English countryside, but with a fishing village. That was pretty much it.
Yeah, and at least Lego did something a bit interesting. So let's say we're setting up in our Forza Horizon 5 Japan setting. I know I'm chucking a big balls here. What would you want to put as your 2 stages of DLC? Would you go one sensible, one wacky? What would you do? Would you finally make Porsche Land? What would you do?
But actually, it does make it a bit interesting, and a bit wacky, because Japan is culturally massive. You could do so much with it. You could even do a hentai island.
You could. I don't recommend it, but you could. No, you definitely could. It would be a bit. It would be
weird.
Niche is the word I want to use.
Yeah, probably niche is probably a better word for it.
I have no idea how hentai would work. I don't want to try and figure the logistics of that. I don't know.
Yeah, a future video. Darren tries to work out how hentai could work in Forza Horizon.
I'm just there looking at some lizard girl trying to get into a car, just going, "What am I doing? What's going on?" I mean, you say something that uses the culture of the locale. It's a good idea, but none of the others have done that. So potentially missing a beat, maybe?
Yeah. Australia's a bit tricky, because I don't know what's unique to Australia. in terms of
Giant bugs.
killer bugs and everything wants to kill you.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. No, I do agree. And then England, what would you have? You know, don't know.
Grange Hill.
Well, well, true. Just the Bill reruns. No, I said that one of the DLCs could have been, should have been, could have been a remodeled city just as DLC. So hear me out, right? Say in a DLC they have Portsmouth Island, for example. Obviously not the whole
Yeah.
of Portsmouth, but some aspects, of just narrowed, city driving. It's I appreciate that's very, a lot
Niche.
of people would not go for that. Um, the only way that would really work is if it was London, realistically.
Yeah, yeah. It would have to work for London.
Yeah, I think that would be the only London or maybe Manchester, but probably London. That's the only way that would really work. Yeah. Anyway, I have an idea of what the best TLC would be. So you got 3 was Hot Wheels, 4 was Lego, 5 Scalextrics.
Not bad.
Right.
Not a bad idea.
Imagine Scalextric's Island. You could have it like I don't know, like a house, like a house, let's say. Um, and it's just the house is all blown up, so the house is a lot bigger, and you're just racing around these little Scalextric tracks. So they could go around the living room, they could go up and down on the sides, they could go across the sofa. You could have interconnecting Scalextric's tracks. It would be a similar vein to Hot Wheels, I won't lie, but
Literally, like, you could say that Scale Electric, but I'm just thinking, that's just a sim version of Micro Machines, isn't it?
it is very close, and I'll give you that. Yeah, no, just put me in my corner. Fair play. You told me that.
But I should say it's not a bad idea because like, I mean, how can I put it? Like, Hot Wheels had the little booster pads, like sort of around the thing that sort of accelerate your car.
Yeah.
If you remember,
Yeah.
which sort of gave it sort of an identity. Lego, the Lego cars, I mean, helped it a bit because there was Lego cars. Scale Electrics, I don't know how you could connect it with thing. I mean, as you said, like setting it in someone's living room could work.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you're right. You would kind of start stepping on Micro Machines' toes. You're right. Obviously, this is just off the top of my head. I'm not, submitting any proposals. But the way maybe with Scalextric, maybe Scalextric is a wrong idea. But I'm on the right vein. Scalextric maybe would only really work because they're on rails. So yeah, maybe that's not right. But why not a giant,
Yeah.
a similar thing to Scalextric, not Scalextrics, Micro Machines. Why not have like a living room to play with? Micro Machines doesn't own living rooms. Probably keep to the one sensible, one wacky idea.
Yeah.
So let's pencil in living room, the house.
Yep.
And then sensible. Let's pencil in Porshland.
Hokkaido, because that's just literally just an island.
Yeah, a random island or Porshland. That's the other DLC.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, if this video fails, I'm expecting Darren to say what I'm saying. Yeah, I have this idea for a theme park. It's called Porshland.
It's like, hear me out. Porshland. So to round up, basically, what we're saying, Horizon 5 should be Japan. As many cars as possible.
As many cars as possible.
Because it's cars.
More variants, the better.
Have it just less of a this is your festival, be more of a festival goer than a founder.
Yep.
Porshland, and as the DLC, Porshland, and you know, around a house as like a little toy. Yeah, are we set?
Yeah.
And then a big bag
Yeah.
of money for me and Matt writing your next game playground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Get in touch, Playground Games. You know where to find us.
Exactly. And where can you find us? You can find us at XMVR official on Twitter. God, that was seamless. Oh, I've really got chills how good that was. And XMVR.co.uk. I've been Darren. He's been Matt.
Hello.
I've slipped into radio host mode again. I promised I wouldn't.
We missed it. We fucked it.
Yeah, it's
right at the end.
we've been recording for a while, and I staved off doing video, doing a DJ mode.
So it's been me, Matthew, and our resident DJ, DJ.